Hello, welcome back. So now we are going to add colors for our created sparks. Just before doing that, let us check how the particles are seen in the render view. So I am going back to IPR render. As of now I have not set it to IPR, so let us go back to render view. Make this as hardware Maya software particles and then hit render. Since these particles are in hardware, and if we keep in Maya software it won't be rendered, so for that purpose keep it in hardware and then select a small region and then hit render. Now you can see particles how they are getting rendered. So these particles should have some colors. Okay, so to set those colors, the very first thing I am going to select the particles, go back to its attribute editor. Here I am going to add one new attribute called incandescence. Okay, incandescence per particle. To do that I am going to general, in add dynamics attribute general, go back to particles. In particles, here I have one option called incandescence per particle. Hit add, then close. Now see, it is added. In this incandescence per particle I am going to create one new ramp. Again right click, edit that ramp. So if you see here, in that edit ramp I can set the colors. What all the colors you want to have in your sparks, I can set it using this incandescence. Why I choose incandescence? Automatically in incandescence I am going to have glow. Instead of adding just colors, I want to have colors along with the glow. Okay, so I am going to select the very first red, choose it some white, extreme white. To make it more white I can choose, or else I can choose yellow and make it 2 times or 3 times, 4 times, then it becomes more and more brighter. Okay, similarly here I am going to change it to white, might be this white. Okay, coming to this part I am going to make it orangish color, orangish color. Instead of linear, make it smooth, even here smooth, so that gradually it is going to change. So make it some 2 times brightness. And here I would like to have some orange, might be some this color orange. Okay, with these colors in the sparks, now I am going back to the attribute editor, and now I want to add opacity, because if you see the sparks, these sparks while they are dying, it should have some transparency, otherwise abruptly the particles will have cut off in the color. To avoid that, I'm going to add, select the particles, again go to opacity and then add per particle attribute. Similarly in opacity also I am going to create one new ramp, edit ramp, and this ramp again, or else here also you can directly go to ramp 2. Okay, in this ramp I'm going to take only two colors, one is black and the other one is white. Wherever it is white, particles will be seen, and wherever it is black, the particles will be getting dyed. Slowly particles will be faded. Okay, with this is ramp 2. With this once this is set, now if I see here, hit this region and then hit render. Okay, as of now there is no color. Now select these particles. I am going back to hypershade. In hypershade, select this particle, check both its input and output colors. So these particles are now having these colors, right? So to do this, I'm going to select these particles. Okay, now I'm going to select these particles. Before applying this particle cloud, what I would like to do is, these particles are now in hardware. If you just check out, these are in hardware, so I want to make it as a software particle. To do that, I'm going to select these particles, go back to particle shape, parent particle shape, then I'm going to streaks, this render type. Instead of streaks, I'm going to make it as a tube. If you see, these three are software particles and these are hardware particles, so making it as a tube. Now again hit this render type. You can see two new attributes, radius 0 and radius 1. So these are parent particles. Let us give radius as 0.05 for time being and 0.04. Okay, afterwards I am going to change it again. Similarly, after colliding these child particles, I would like to give from streaks to tubes and again hit render type, make it as 0.04 and 0.04. Now these have been converted from hardware render type to software render type. Now since we have converted, instead of rendering these in hardware, now let us render it in software. If you see here, by default the particle cloud has been connected with the particle shape. Okay, so I can tweak from mental ray now. So go back to mental ray and then if you feel like these sizes are very small, just hit 4 and you can see this is the streaks which we have converted to the tubes, right? And in our reference also we have seen these streaks are having some line like structure. Okay, so this line like structure depends upon the particles velocity. With more velocity, those particles will be seen like big lines. So to get that kind of effect, I am going to increase its speed. So here increase its radius, sorry, instead of 0.05 let me make it as 0.1 and this as 0.04 to 0.08. Okay, so these are parent particles, so I am increasing its little bit more. As well as here also I can change its width. Instead of 0.2 to 0.1, make it as 0.5, so that it will be little bit bigger kind of streaks. Okay, afterwards you can change all these values and again hit 6 to the texture mode. Now with these particles again just check out, particles are now moving and then hitting back. But if you see here, we have not changed anything in the child particles. Okay, we have applied incandescence as well as opacity for the parent particles, but we have not done that for the child particles. So let us do very quickly to the child particles. Go back. So I am going to add general, go back to incandescence, pp, hit ok, right click. Instead of creating new, I am going back to option box. I am going to add ramp 1, which is the incandescence. Similarly, add opacity per particle, and then here I am going to create new ramp. Again I am going back to its option box and I am going to map it to ramp 2. So very quickly I have applied same textures. Okay, now again go back to Hypershade, select this particle cloud, and now be very close shot for the particles and hit IPR. Now you can select the particles. Just check out, since it is blue here, I would like to change it to some orange, make transparency black and increase its incandescence. Okay, so with this okay, particles are now holding the color. Could you see? Particles are now holding the color. But the problem with this directly applying colors onto the particles is particles are not going to change the color. If you see here in our references, particles, once they have emitted from the source at the origin point, they are very bright. As it travels to a little bit of distance, it is changing its color to some orangish yellow, and then orange or dark orange, and then it will be faded into the environment surroundings. So here that kind of effect we are not getting, since we have applied directly the particle cloud to the particles. Those kind of effects I am not getting. Okay, so just render it again, IPR render, both in the particles, child particles and parent particles, you are having the same colors. So you can even add glow intensity, close it, again hit IPR and then render, then you can see along with the glow. If you feel it is little bit bigger, you can reduce the value. Okay, so to avoid that all the time, let me reset it, reset. At the time of birth, the particles are having same color. Okay, then after moving certain height, then the particles here also having same color, you are also having the same color. So that thing should be reduced. As time keeps on changing, the particles glow intensity, the color holding, everything should keep on changing. Because if you see here in our incandescence, select the parent particle. In incandescence, whatever ramp 1 we have applied, ramp 1 we have applied, what all the colors we have picked, those colors should reflect in our particles. So to do that, what I am going to do is select the particles, go to hypershade. Here these are the particles, right? So let me select this again, go back, make it okay, make it black. This one also make it black conditions. So I'm going to create one new particle cloud. Okay, let me erase this everything. This is old particle cloud 1. I'm going to create the new particle cloud. This is new particle cloud 2. Select this, change this to about orange, what so color I have choose so far, and I'm going to make transparency of black, incandescence white, same thing as I have done before previously. Now I'm going back to the hypershade. These colors I want to apply both for parent as well as child particles. Okay, so right click, my mouse is not that much perfect. Okay, so I have applied the material for both child particle as well as parent particle. So let me select the material and now check both input and output connections. Just like previously, I have got all the connections for the new particle cloud. Now in this new particle cloud, as I have applied again the same texture, instead of orange, let me try it with blue or this color, whichever you feel more comfortable, and then hit render and just check out with glow. So here I have not added any glow. Okay, close it and again hit IPR. Sometimes it won't be reflected. Okay, so here render view, render region again. Now I can see, right? Render region again. Yes. Now what I am doing is, what all the colors I have set in incandescence of the sparks, those colors I should have from origin to the depth. To do that, I am going to add one new node called sampler information node, particle sampler information node. This particular node is going to convert the colors or incandescence from the particles to the particle cloud. Okay, so to do that, because this as of now particle cloud has no colors, whatever color I am using, same thing is getting, but already I have applied particle cloud incandescence. This should reflect through the particle sampler information node to the particle cloud, then only I can see the variation of colors as particles are moving. So to do that, again I am going back to particle sampler information node. From here to here, go to other. I am giving the output. Let's check out incandescence per particle of the particle information node to the incandescence of the particle cloud. I have mapped from here to here. See, automatically it changed. Okay, now again this part is done. If you see here in particles, I have applied the incandescence through this. But what about the opacity? So for opacity, again I have one more node called a reverse node. I'm going to select this reverse node. Whatever information I have from the particle sampler information, that I have to convert it to the particles again. So to do this, I'm going back to particle sampler information to the reverse node. Go to the other and going back to the opacity per particle of the sampler information node to the input. If you see here, I can input to input of reverse node. So I have got information till reverse node. Now from reverse node, I am going and giving connection to the particle cloud. So output of reverse node connected to the transparency of the particle cloud. Okay, if I do this, then what all the colors I have set in the incandescence and opacity, everything will be applied onto the particles. Okay, now with this, reset and then again play. At this time, let me check the particles. They are very bright. Could you see here how much bright they are? Very bright. And at this area, how particles are getting the mid colors, whatever colors I have set, those mid colors I am getting. And whenever they are getting dyed after collision, that is over here, how the particles are getting faded. Could you see how they are getting faded? So overall, what all the colors I have set, everything is seen over the scene. So this way I can set the colors in the Maya Dynamics for the sparks. So let me select this whole area. So particles at the center, from where particles are originated, from there you have lot of brightness. As it keeps on moving, all the colors we have set in the incandescence, they are going to getting diminished. They are going to get faded, and slowly it will be disappeared from the scene. Okay, so even for this, I want to have little bit of glow. So I'm going back to the select outliner. Let me select spark center. Shade. Let me select the particle information node. So here I am going to give glow of about 0.2. Okay, 0.2, and then coming back, I am going to shader glow. Here also I am going to glow attributes. Okay, I am going to glow color, make this orange as well, and I can adjust the glow intensity. Just get back to IPR, render, select the small region, the particles are getting glow. Okay, here I can reduce its intensity. Feel like more and more glow is coming, I can reduce its intensity. But if you see here, a lot of glow will be coming through this. Okay, so let me make some 1.5, and this is spread, how much area the glow should spread. It is up to you. You want to have a lot of spread, you can adjust the spread in the particles, or you want to see the particles very clearly, then you can adjust. Similarly, I am going back to the halo attributes. Here also I am going to change it to orange, and then I can reduce or increase. It is up to you what fashion you feel you want to have more this scene. So you feel you can reduce this, you can change the color a little bit orangish, intensity you can reduce. Okay, and here also you will have intensity, you can plug in. So this is, if you feel like you don't want to have a halo, you can make it none, then only you can have the glow. Okay, so tweak the values wherever you feel more convenient, and then once it is done, then you can go for render. So before going for render, you have one more small thing to do, that is adding light to your scene. So this is optional, because whenever fireworks or some explosion is happening, then you can see lot of glow and light from the fire, from the sparks or from fireworks. Okay, so to make that happen more realistic, I'm going to create one light, make it some point light. Okay, with using point light, again I'm going to change the color to orange, and you can use some decay rate linear with this. Using light in your scene and without light, just check the difference. Wherever you feel perfect, you can add it. Okay, so this is one thing. Save it. Light intensity is 0, then hit, and then see the difference. Okay, so one more thing, you can add this light and hit 7, then you can see how, in what area it is getting affected, or the particles will be affected with the light. And then again hit, you're going to have more and more glow and light from the particles. Okay, so just try using light. You can even, for example, if I am giving any set keys for emission of particles, okay, then accordingly I can give some set key for the light. Accordingly, when particles are emitted, accordingly the light will be flickering, so that you get very realistic effect, as if light is really emitting from the sparks or fireworks, whatever it is. Okay, so practice well and be prepared for your exam. Take care. Bye.